Hi friends, we were talking about knitting over in Simone's Discord, and I commented about the absolutely nutso way that I knit. Somebody said I would like to see that, and so here we are. It's my lunchtime and I'm having a day, so why not, right? I use circulars for everything. This is just some random yarn. I mean, I was making a hat and then I didn't like it. I should make a different hat because I like this yarn. Don't ask me what it is. I don't know. Probably some kind of Malabrigo. So I knit mirrored combination. And instead of purling, I very frequently just knit the other way, English style. So, mirrored, meaning I'm left-handed. I learned how to crochet first, right? Which meant yarn right hand, hook left hand, and thus I wanted to do this. But I didn't like the idea of English style knitting, so I did my own thing. So cast on, I just am going to do long tail, cast on, which hopefully you know. If not, well, righties, you can watch this video mirrored. We're just putting some stitches. I don't even know how many. We're just doing as many as we feel like it, and one more. Okay. Now technically this sets you up to do purl as your first row. So we'll do that. So you'll notice if you're right-handed and you knit that I'm wrapping the yarn the opposite way. Oh wait, that is not what I wanted to do. Okay, good. I lied. I should start the video over, but I won't. Sets me up to purl. And this is just how you would knit English style, but I go through the back loop, okay? We'll do wide view. Don't worry, I'll zoom in. I haven't knit in quite a long time because of wrist and shoulder and neck issues and work and so on. So there's one row. I'm just trying to wrangle yarn. That was the purl. So the knit, again, combination style means you knit through the back loop as such, right? And you scoop. Hopefully you can see that. And again, I'm doing this so you get a wide view. I will then do another row zoomed in. So if I wanted to purl combination style, left-handed / mirrored, you scoop the yarn this way too. Right? But why purl when you can knit the other way? To mix it up, friends, that's why. The interesting thing about doing this method is it does sort of like split up the work that your hands are doing. Okay, now we'll zoomies a little closer. So we'll do real close. So combination style, go through the back loop, yarn comes up in between and back through. It's quite difficult to do this looking at the screen. So if you see me struggling to find the stitches, because I'm not looking at my hands, I'm looking at my phone. Okay. And I'm doing stockinette, knit, purl. You can see actually here, this is all right side always facing me. This, when I purl, my purl stitches use just that little bit more yarn. So I get what we call like rowing out. My purl stitches are longer than my knit stitches. So to knit backwards, my style, it's the same through the back loop, yarn up between. Now I could try and do this with the yarn in my left hand, but my left hand is an idiot about holding yarn, okay? It doesn't know how. My left hand is smart at many things, but not this. Okay, that's what that looks like. Now, at the end of this row, we'll turn it around and knit normal non-mirrored style. Typically, I wouldn't teach lefties to knit the way I do because you have to be pretty dang good at understanding knitting in order to do it, because your directions, actually this purl row is a little longer. Directions for knit two together are different. Like when it says knit two together, I think I have to do an SSK. You know, you have to understand the mechanics of knitting. Okay, so now I'm a normal right-handed person. Here's how I knit, English style. Or if you throw, let's call them throwers and pickers. So what you could do if you had, this is really good for like a knitting belt, or if you had this needle stationary, you can see how you can have your left hand do everything except reach up and throw the yarn. And I'm making big movements here, but like the world's fastest knitters, I think, knit this way, and they have this really like amazingly quick flick they do with the yarn. I am not generally knitting for speed. If you want a sweater really fast, nothing's going to be faster than buying one. Okay, so I just knit normal righty. We can agree on that. Now, assuming that I hold the yarn in my right hand, because I do, how you knit backwards is, it's, let me make sure I'm right about this. Yeah, you put your needle through the back and you wrap the yarn in a way that to me feels counterintuitive, but goes over and through. And if you do this, you'll see when we get to the end of the needle, these are Crystal Palace needles, which were like my favorite. I don't know if they still make needles anymore. Okay, yeah, so we're at the end of the row, and now you can see the stitches are sitting the right way. To knit normally through the front loop, right? Because you always, when you're knitting, you want to like open up the stitch. So if you're not sure what you're doing, the needle should be opening up the stitch and not closing the stitch. Hopefully that makes sense. So I don't do this in the round, perhaps obviously I don't need to, because you're only ever knitting. I don't typically do combination style if I'm doing like, well, no, actually I do. It's really good for the heels of socks, right? Because it's such a pain to like flip, 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 flip. When you got the whole sock hanging off there, super great for that. You just have to pay attention to like, again, you have to know how knitting works, the architecture of it. So you can see here when we're going to knit back, if I go through the front, I'm closing that stitch. I'll show you on the next one. It'll be easier to see. Oops. Right? I'm closing it. To open the stitch, to leave the stitch open, I have to go through the back. Because otherwise, if I go through the front on this side, I get a twisted stitch. See that? That stitch needs to go to the bathroom. It's closing its legs. It's like, ooh, I gotta go. Don't leave your stitches waiting for the bathroom. I mean, unless you are trying to do twisted stitches, in which case, please go ahead. And also let me know if I'm the only one that thinks of them as people who are. So you can see this is not the way I actually do it because I'm used to knitting combination. I wrap this way. I pick up going both ways and then I just knit through the back loop. But I'm showing you the slightly more normal way so that when you come to this side, you're knitting through the front loop as you normally would. So that way, when you knit two together, right, you can still just knit two together versus slip, slip, knit, you know. Hello, thank you. Anyway, I hope that was fun. If you've got any questions, let me know. Maybe little known fact is that I used to manage a yarn shop and I actually I saw a lot of problems. The more problems you help other people solve, the faster you are at solving your own. But you can see how even this makes your knits and purls. Because then they take up, sorry for that noise, then they take up the same amount of yarn, more or less. Right on. Hope you had fun watching this.